What's going on, everybody? My name's Danny. Welcome back to Crypto 99 for another market update. In this video, as always, we're going to look at the market. Hey, surprise. We're going to chart some Bitcoin as well. Talk about a couple pieces of news that I think could be bullish in the short term, obviously, and kind of help prop that price up, and also obviously bullish in the long term. They're both pretty solid. So market's hanging steady at 230. Not a huge move up or down, maybe low single digits in terms of a move either way. Bitcoin is kind of leading that stability, if you want to call it that. It's flat at down 0.23% as of right now. Everything else in the top 10, other than EOS, which was up 4.6 day over day, Cardano's kind of, we'll just call it flat for lack of a better term, is down between 1 and 5% maybe. So nothing huge moving right there. I mean, if Bitcoin is flat, the market is generally kind of flat. Bitcoin, we know, drives the market. Its dominance is at 53% of the global market cap is Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's flat, it takes a drastic move of some other token, some other alt to actually make that market move. So not a whole lot of movement. And as you scroll down the screen, not a whole lot of stuff is actually going on. It's a rather rare point of somewhat stability for cryptocurrency, with nothing really in the top 50 moving more than 3%. You got Metaverse ETP is up 14.8. As you scroll down, you'll see Noah coin up 111% day over day. 2.77 million in volume. I looked, over half that volume is with the Dogecoin pair on Yobit, which is a little odd to me, but hey, it is what it is. If you remember, I actually did a review on them a while ago. Decentraland up 9. But other than that, everything is down. I mean, between up 1% and down 5%, with the exception of a select few. So nothing really happening in the crypto market price-wise. Volume is still up a little bit over that 5% mark, which I talk about a lot. So if the prices were to go up, I wouldn't be shocked, because the volume is up. The interest seems to be a little bit there. And it could be a result of a couple different things that we'll talk about at the end of the video. So I'll chart a little bit of Bitcoin. So I've got my rising wedge. There's a couple different ways you can draw patterns in crypto. And again, I know that's like fuel to the fire for the anti-TA crowd, but you can't deny some of their validity. You just can't. It would be foolish to do so. To deny the correlation in technical analysis is, in my opinion, to be incredibly stupid. Like you'd have to be ignorant to deny some of the correlation. So I drew you can draw it, like I said, one of two ways. You can draw straight points of contact. That's how I do sometimes. If you've watched my videos, typically I draw it from the total bandwidth of whatever range we're trading in, like from end of wick to end of wick. I try to do that as best as possible. Sometimes I'll do point of contact. In this case, both kind of determine the trend. They help you determine these trends. So I've got my point of contact line. I'm actually going to change the color. I'm changing it to, we'll go like baby blue, and we'll make it really thick. There's a thick baby blue line in there, which was my point of contact. You got you got a, candle, wick, candle, 4. I mean, you got like 7 points of contact. So relatively strong correlative indicator there. And that's the general trend that we're going. It's not necessarily the midline. It's a little above the midline. Then you have the bandwidth total of our rising wedge. That's here. It's kind of a very gradual wedge, but a wedge nonetheless. So we are still technically, if you go on the wicks, I know everybody got crazy. Oh, we're breaking out bullish. And I kind of did the same thing, because I was looking at my pattern with my analysis. I still said, short, like I still have a slightly bearish look. Like if you're not in the trade already, don't get in it. Like if you haven't been in this trade, I don't think this is a point to take a long position, or really a short position right now, because and I'll explain why in just a second. So we did come back down and test this level that kind of correlated with the 382 fib from swing high to swing low. So not necessarily rocket science there. You could have not used Fibonacci whatsoever, done simple correlation or support and resistance lines, and had that indicator for you. So not extremely, technical there, but came down, tested it, and it's kind of hanging up above this 200 period moving average on the hourly. And we'll see if it can hold there. It's holding above 7,000, which is a psychological level as well. But you've still got this overall bearish trend, and I'll give you a couple things here. So let's say that we find this 0.5 fib. I have a really hard time believing that we'll go too far above 7,200, which is about that 0.5 fib level. Let's say we go to 7,200. That's not a whole lot of room to take along if you're like super trader risk averse guy and you want to just go ahead and throw it in there. Sure, go throw a trade, throw along to 7,200. I think the odds are better than not that we get there. Let's just put it that way. Like I've already told you, I'm not entering any more trades at this level. If I enter anything, it may be a low leverage short and I'll tell you why. So like I said, I have a hard time believing we're going too far above the 0.5 fib. We've had a pretty significant uptrend without much of a pullback at all. I mean, from the 13th of August down at 5,900, we're at just over 7,000 now. That's a pretty significant move. It's like a 20% move, just the skosh over 20%. So let's say that we do get to that 0.5 fib. Let's go from swing low to high. Where would I be looking to get back in? If I was going to be looking at, like I said, I may enter a short, or if you're looking at, where now I don't want to buy now because I'm trading or whatever you're doing with Bitcoin, where would I look to enter? I would be looking at this 382 level, the 6,700. It says 6,699. It's about 6,700. That's a pretty good level. We traded back at that level pretty strongly, so that's a relatively good, in my opinion, point of support there. We would have at 6,700. The next piece would be down at like 6,550 or 6,500. I think it would take a pretty significant pullback to get all the way down to 63. We may get that far, but briefly. I think some of the pieces of news that are coming out have been positive, but if we come out with another, the SEC is going to make an official decision. The actual commission is looking at the ETFs now, so if they come out in the midst of some good stuff and some positive price movement and say, oh, well, it was really denied, we actually looked at it and we denied it, then you may see a little more of a significant price drop. But I do think if you're going to take one or two, long or short, I think the best position would be to take a short logically and technically. Like I said, you've got a 20% move without a significant pullback. Yeah, you had a spike here, but that was a little bit unprecedented. That was some BitMEX manipulation and an ETF denial. So not a whole lot of not a whole lot to do there. More of a sideways move and then a continuation of the uptrend. Again, you got to have a little bit of a pullback to justify the uptrend and to make it a healthy one. 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of a deal. And again, I would be looking to enter at either 67 or 65.50, somewhere in that range. If we can make it up to 72, I may go and put a low leverage short position. I don't like to use a ton of leverage, but if I do, either on Deribit or BitMEX, either one, I've been kind of tinkering with them for a little while. But if I'm going to do that, I would do it in the upper 7,100 range, kind of put one in, and if it hits it, it hits it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No worries. Put a short in up there, and then take it on the way down. So that's my analysis on Bitcoin. Ethereum's kind of not taking a beating, but it's taking a little more of a pullback than Bitcoin has. It's below 290 again. We saw Ethereum, if this will ever load, we saw Ethereum at 250 not too long ago. So not typically not too concerned there about that Ethereum price. It's going to move with Bitcoin. The Bitcoin's going to drag the market one way or the other. We know that. So this is not going to load. So we're not going to do that. We're going to go and talk about some pieces of news and wrap this stupid thing up. Oh, before we get that far, I wish it would load because I finally, if you're looking at the top right of my screen, the bottom right here, go BTC. Yeah, go BTC. Actually, go BTC. Let's see if the shorts thing actually loads. I was going to talk about the shorts. They're under 30,000 for the first time since like the 14th of August or 13th of August. So it's been about 2 weeks since they've been this low in terms of actual volume of shorts. But they're still overextended, but the longs and the shorts are coming together and making a little, not convergence or anything. You can't chart short volume. It's just kind of more of a reference indicator there. But GoChain got listed on Bittrex. So it's leading the Binance voting. Got listed on Bittrex, and it's now getting voted for on OKEx. That's the recipe for a continuation of trend, and GoChain has been doing... Oh, there we go, the short chart loaded. No, it just changed the top. Screw it. Fuck it, I don't care. But GoChain is still one of my picks for doing some serious things in the cryptocurrency market. I love GoChain. I've done reviews on it before. I've talked about it a lot in the past. I hold a lot of GoChain, so obviously it benefits me if it goes up, but I'm going to kind of root for it silently and not so silently. 2 pieces of news and wrap it up. So Yahoo Finance integrates Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin trading. I think this is huge, in my opinion. I think this is getting underplayed. Excuse me. Ate dinner before I did this. I think this is getting underplayed significantly. That Yahoo Finance is integrating Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin. Notice the missing few would be of the top several coins would be EOS, Bitcoin Cash, and Ripple are all missing. Why? Because people don't believe in those like they do in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. I mean, you're missing Stellar too, is ahead of Litecoin by a small little bit, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin are kind of the stable few in the cryptocurrency landscape. They've been there for a while in terms of at the top. Ethereum obviously had a crazy year last year, but those are the three that everybody talks about when you talk about crypto. Those are the first three on Coinbase. So they're just kind of widely regarded as the most popular. But while statistics are available, like there we go. So Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum Classic, EOS, they don't have any buy and sell options, but you can view the statistics of those. You can actually buy them. This is kind of funny. You can now buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin on Yahoo Finance. The virus is spreading. This is short-term bullish news. This, in my opinion, is definitely short-term bullish news. Not that people that are on that app regularly probably know what cryptocurrency is. So just putting it in front of their face, I don't think will actually make a big difference. And I think if they were going to really trade it, they'd get a crypto app to trade it. I don't know how much of an actual effect it will have driving price movement, but I think it'll help support it just from a mass adoption standpoint. Secondly, and that's definitely not least, the fifth largest crypto exchange, Bithumb, to reopen account registrations. This, in my opinion, will drive positive price movement. Remember when the tokens that were only listed on Bittrex, when Bittrex closed, that's one of the reasons I moved away from Bittrex. When they closed their registration, the liquidity pretty much died. It was just money swapping between coins randomly, seemingly. Not a whole lot of volatility, not a whole lot of liquidity. Wasn't necessarily fun. Weren't a whole lot of chartable setups on there, so I moved over to Binance, where I've been since. And this could drive price movement because we know how crazy it can get in South Korea and how crazy the arbitrage opportunity would be if you were able to do that between some South Korean exchanges and, we'll say, Coinbase. The prices on the South Korean exchange for Bitcoin alone were way higher than they were on the American-based or European-based or Chinese-based or whatever it was exchanges. So the fact they're going to reopen registrations, it allows more people to flood into the crypto markets that weren't necessarily able to get there in the first place. So this will definitely help the coins that are listed on Bithumb. Definitely. I mean, that's kind of an obvious play there, but I think overall for the crypto market, it's healthy for all of the exchanges to be open for registration and welcoming and inviting and supportive and obviously active and functioning. But definitely two pieces of news there in the Yahoo piece and the Bithumb piece that could prop that price up for a little longer. When I was talking about the Bitcoin price, going maybe to 7,200, taking the run back down. Don't forget, the whales and the bots and the institutional guys still control the space. No matter what the media tells you, the bots and all that kind of crap, they still control the space. It's not a big secret. We all kind of know that. So taking that into consideration when you're doing these trades is like, oh, wow, they announced this. The price is going to go huge. It's going to go crazy. Not necessarily. Because bots don't, yes, do bots trade on news? Yes, they obviously they do. They trade on news to take advantage of the retail investor. That's what they do. They don't trade on news because they're bullish on news. They trade on news because they're bullish on the reaction of the retail guy. So make sure you play that into your trading strategy or your investing strategy when you're looking at this, and know that at the end of the day, they're still kind of controlling this. So they define the rules of the game. You've just got to learn to play within the rules of the game. That's kind of what we try to do on this show. But I hope you guys got something out of the video. I hope I brought you some value, and I obviously aim to bring that value every day. I say that at the end of every single video. If you did get some, hit that thumbs up button as well. Subscribe and notification bell down below. Follow me on Twitter. I kind of not tweet incessantly, but tweet random funny stuff and crypto-related stuff obviously every day. Join our Discord. That's where the most value is brought, in that Discord channel and the other mediums, Facebook, Telegram, blah, blah, down in the description box below. But again, thank you for watching. Hope I brought you some value that I aim to bring you every day, and I look forward to bringing you that value next time.